Greetings, greetings, Sabati. Hola. Ni hao. Hello. Hello, hello. Looks like the sound is good. I think I need to get just one quick check. All right, all right. Hope everyone is well. And it's appreciated that you stopped by here on youtube.com to check me out. This is a channel, Kai NY007. So what I'm doing here is a live early on Tuesday. And as you can see from the thumbnail, and what I have here on the screen right now is this live stream is going to be about, we're going to discuss some main reasons women don't trust men. Some I'm pretty sure people have their own conclusions on and probably feel you already know, and it's some of the same old saying, but no, I dig a little deep. I do that with everything. And I wanted to give some perspectives to based on science, based on research, based on a little bit of my own self, what I see. But most of this is it's to find out how women feel and why they're feeling the way they're feeling. We're going to examine some of the studies of the women and the men involved, men and women in our relations. So I think it's something important to talk about and discuss. There's a lot going on with gender war and separation of families and just things like that, a lot of it. And I'm a person who always want to know why people do what they do, what makes them tick, things like that. So we have that. And I also want to show y'all something too that I have. I'm going to unbox it shortly too. It's a little game. So here on my channel, I do want to engage with you guys. So I may engage with you guys with some games too. So I'm going to unbox something that I have. It's a classic type of game also. And I'm going to get some tunes going too. And the music I'm going to have in the background is called Trust by Buju Banton. So a song that came out maybe a few years back. I like the beat. It's a nice instrumental. It's really smoothed out, and I'm going to have issues with YouTube with it. So I'm going to play that in the background, and it's pretty much fitting for the content that I'm going to be going over, because this is about trust, mistrust. Why do we not trust each other? Without trust, there's no relationship, really. Without trust, that causes a lot of issues and problems. So I want to talk about why we have such a mistrust of men. Okay, this is in general. This is all generalized. This goes across all nations and races. At some point further down the road, though, I will be going over particulars in why people don't seem to trust Black men. I think that's interesting, and it's a whole cultural thing with that, etc. So we want to take a look at that, and then maybe we could find some more solutions too, and to be aware of why people feel the way they feel about men and certain men in particular. Okay, so yeah, we'll do that. And welcome to anyone that's new here. Feel free to join the chat. Or if you're returning, thank you for coming back through. So welcome. All right, so yeah, so maybe I'll do that right now. And then what I'm gonna do is pull up the thumbnail after also. Okay. So let's see, because I gotta make sure I get all the information on myself. All right. So 1 second. Oh, I got something for y'all to check out too. I'm gonna show that in a minute. Usually I have my camera on, but sometimes, like, I'm trying to reach my people and I want to give y'all a little show. A little showcase. I even got some little gloves because I want to accessorize my hands. What's going on? This is a game, classic game everyone knows, bingo. So I want to play some games with you guys too as we move along. What do y'all think about this? Isn't it small? This is a glove. This is a glove. It's so tiny. And my hands are not small. It goes like this. I think. Here we go. I like it. Oh, I like it. What you think? I like this. wasn't so warm in here, I'd probably just leave it on all day. I like it. Yeah. So I want to have some fun with you guys. In case you're familiar, before I've done raffles in the past, and I give out cash. So, you have a chance of winning sometimes here with me when I want to do something like this. But I actually want to just at least unbox it and show you guys what I got going on and what I have coming up. So I, have discussions prepared for y'all. What's going on, y'all? KLGMT. So everybody knows bingo is a classic game, but I figured we could have fun doing it too. Where I'll lay out some more of the rules too, because like more so in the weekend I can see doing it. But if it's a simpler way and there's less people, because I'm working on kind of like growing things here. So say it's a less people, but you would just pick a number. You pick a number, and then what I would do is do a drawing, and I have the camera on so you can see it right there. So hey. So yeah, I've been having fun, and I look at things online that look like they're fun, and some things are seem to be rigged. So with me, you see everything on camera, and just a way to have some fun, and then show you, I appreciate the people that come out, and support. So it's one of my ways of kind of giving back, you know what I'm saying? So yeah. Oh, this is cool. Okay, I like it because it was black too. I do a lot of black. Everything for me is black. Okay, that's how I am. So I gotta cut this. So I'm gonna cut this real quick. And, show you guys this, and then we'll be getting right into the topic. So the topic is why women don't trust men, and some things I already knew, but then there was some like newer findings that I just realized too. So I'm gonna add that in. That's added in too. All right. Okay. This was the first bingo game I ever seen that had like color to it. It's just black. Oh, this is black and silver. They showed it as gold. They showed it as black. All right, whatever. I wonder if this really noisy, you guys. Okay, well, that's over with. See, I think it's cool. Okay, y'all can let me know what y'all think. So I want to do something different, something a little different. Some way we can have some fun, because it's always a thrill. Even if you're not really winning something, it's just fun. But with me, you'll win something, okay? And then sometimes I'll have something where we'll just have some game. We might just want to have some game time, where we just have, fun here. So this is where we keep that at. I used to play bingo a lot growing up, and I really enjoyed it. And being with the people in the atmosphere of bingo halls, there's a lot of usually older people, but then like younger people started going. And I don't know, it's just interesting, decent time pass. So I have to pop these balls out and stuff and all that first. But I want to at least give you guys to see, So this weekend, I'm going to plan on using it, Depends. Yeah, I get more active. We can do something today. Why not? So we would start out more simpler, where you would just pick a number, and whenever that number comes out, whoever gets it, their number out first, you would win it. Okay. So that would be something different. Also, I was at the stores and I'm peeping how we got chips with more rappers on it. Snoop D-O double G. I don't know if I'm late, but I think these are all new because it's like No Limit Soldiers. Master P, y'all familiar with rapper Master P? He has noodles out. I'm going to try some of those on camera too. I'm going to like whenever, at someday soon, because I have them. I said, I want to do like a little review on here, like while I'm maybe doing a show. I'll, eat some. I really like noodles. I'll eat those like every day. I don't care. I'll have a gourmet meal I made. I still want some noodles at some point that day. I'm like really a noodle person. But anyway, I don't know. They look cool. I'm proud. It's just like I grew up in a time where I never saw a black face like on like anything really. So seeing this and seeing that they have, food for us, and just different things where you see people's faces on here it's still amazing to me. And I'm proud. I'm like really proud of that. So I'm going to have one. I'm not try not to smack too hard on your ear. This is OG barbecue cheddar. That tastes pretty good. What y'all think? I got something coming up too, a live coming up where I'm going to be talking about some reasons why people hate on rappers and certain men of, from the hood. Jim T, I don't know if you're still in the building, but you just doxed Dr. Umar Johnson. Yo, nobody off limits, huh? Speaking of no limit soldiers, all right? All right, y'all. So I did just want to show y'all that, and that's something that I will have coming up. Okay. So I'm gonna go back with turning my turn the camera off. Okay. Boom. All right. So I appreciate y'all coming through. Actually, he just ended a live. So oh, there's something else in here. I don't know what this is. Hold on, put the camera one more time. What is this? Yeah, it's black. Oh, okay, so this is a cloth. All right, so this I'll spread out like a cloth, and then you put the game on it. Then you put the stuff on here. Okay, all right, that's cool. So yeah, let me know what y'all think. Yeah, hope to see y'all out for that. And all right. So we'll just get right into today's discussion. Anyone like to join in? Feel free to join in the chat room. If you'd like to join in the conversation itself, let me know. Again, my name is Time007. Here on my channel, I talk about different things, mostly community-based issues, problems. I like to solve them. Talk about sex, things to do with sexuality, astronomy, and some astrology. And also coming up this weekend, I will have an open panel. So I do plan to do that where, you may have something else you'd like to just come on in and join in on the live panel and talk about it. And we can do that too. Okay, whatever it is. So I always have stuff to talk about. There's always something to talk about. So I like to bring it on here. I'm actually a very, very quiet person. But I've absorbed a lot of information and stuff, and every day I learn something new, and I do like to share it. And I wish to share some of my platform with y'all to join in on conversation too, okay? So right here we have main reasons women don't trust men. Y'all have any ideas so far how I'm gonna go with this? You may feel you already know, or but it's always good to kind of hear because, I'm a woman and I have some of my own perspectives. But most of what I bring on here is from what everyone else seems to feel based on data and research. But with this, I'm bringing that and mostly data and research. But I'll give a little of myself too. But I'm not so much giving my opinion. This is based on just factual things. Not they get on my nerves sometime, or this that no. Like let's give it the facts so we can realize why we have so many problems with our gender situations. And I think it's worldly. Let me know if you don't think so. Do you think it's just an American thing with gender wars, men and women kind of switching up on each other? Feel like we're not really knowing our roles anymore or something. I know over in Africa, where we come from, there is a lot of more respect and things like that are implemented in the families. Now, some are forced, but then there's some too where you just have the freedom of finding your own mate, marrying them, and things like that. But some things too are culturally based and why we feel the way we feel about each other. So I'm going to get into some basics, and I'm going to show some video clips. So we'll do that. Do some video clips. I'm going to talk, and I'm going to show you some stuff.
It's LC the Beat God.
See, this picture came up because sometimes women just feel like a piece of meat. Really, really do. And sometimes you feel like you're running for your life, but you're really just running. You know, some women are running from themselves too. I don't bash anyone really on here. You got to really ask for it from me, and when I give it to you, I don't know when I'm gonna stop. So I don't really like doing that. So, but this is not by means of that. The point is, let's figure out why we are the way we are, so that we can work together better and build. We need to be building together, not separating. But we got to be honest and have an honest conversation.
Marine. Women in the military have it tough. However, when this female Marine thought her serving in Iraq with the boys was a statement too little, she decided to prove her mettle by facing off her male counterpart inside the boxing ring.
And I bet at the beginning of this, she thought she could whoop his ass, right? Let's see how it plays out.
But perhaps she was expecting the match to go a bit differently. You see, there's a fair bit of visible shock as she gets blown up by her male colleague, almost as if she didn't expect him to fight back. The footage dates back to 2007 when this female Marine made the bold claim that she could beat any male Marine inside the base. Clearly, that claim was not true.
Now, this cracked me up when I was looking up some images like for women that may distrust men. This came up. So I'm adding it. What's going on, CC? CC Straps. I ain't seen you in a minute. Appreciate y'all coming out. G24Ds. Appreciate y'all coming out. So basically, if you're missing the beginning, I was showing some things I have coming up. Like I want to do some bingo, where we do little games with that, numbers, and you can win some cash prizes from me. So I'll do that this weekend, and I was gonna say I could have tested it out today. Yeah, I gotta let you know that. All right, so we're gonna continue.
Terrifying moment. A panicked woman is desperately trying to get into her apartment before it's too late. A creep bolts down the hallway, coming right for her.
Now, see, this is right in NYC too. NY, New York is in my name. I'm a native. Now, I feel like this. I won't say like all the time, but often I tend to feel like that. You feel like if nobody's even there, I feel like maybe I'm prepared for somebody to be there, or I'm thinking someone's around. So it is good to be aware. Just don't scare yourself into a badder situation. But it's like being aware as a female. And are you a female that's alone a lot, or are you usually with people? That makes a difference too. But it just made me want to show part of this clip too, because
She
this is
escapes with
some
a
of our
second
reality.
to spare.
At this point, she wouldn't want to go outside to work or anything because she's scared this will happen again.
Can you believe the doors to the building were unlocked that night and remained so when Inside Edition was there? It's the moment of vulnerability we face every day. You're outside your home, your keys are in your hand, you're about to open the door, anything can happen.
You know, so that's a fact. Now, let me pull up this too. Working on my presentation. So some main reasons women don't trust men. How was everybody? Oh, all right. Now, let me go back just a bit. Because if we would have just put it all in a nutshell and say, well, what is it? What is it mainly? It's risk and betrayal. It goes beyond us just feeling like most men cheat, things like that. We're affected a little differently in the heart than men. You guys get affected, but ours is a little different. The whole way we go about mating and meeting, it's changed over the years. Now I feel like women are throwing themselves all over the place to the point where people like me will end up having to pick up the pieces at some point when we're the ones trying to do good and do. But anyway, let's just continue because sometimes it feels like it's a setback for me too. But mostly risk and betrayal. When we get with a man, we have to give up everything. When I say everything, I mean internally. If I was to get with a man, I know that I have to trust you. If I don't trust you, we don't have much. That's the music playing in the background. Trust, instrumental by Bridget Johnson. Perfect. And I feel like I have to let go, like let down everything, let down all the walls and everything, and just trust you. I have to trust you as my man, as my king, as my husband one day, hopefully. But doing that, we have to let everything go. And I think that the biggest thing is we're too scared to these days. We don't want to. But it's way more scarier being by yourself too at times. But somehow we found comfort in no having a man. We find peace, and I'm happier without a man, and this and that, and this and
I'll
that.
see the big guy.
All that does is keep us further from the truth and keeping us apart from each other. Also, it's funny that I read somewhere that I took a note. Women are likely to fall in love when or if she thinks she knows the man, if she thinks she knows him. But it's different with men. Y'all will fall in love without knowing her. You don't need to know the woman to fall in love with her. Women don't operate like that.
I'll
Now,
see
if you
the
look
big
at the
guy.
screen here, I'm going to pause this music for a minute too. Okay, so you see here, I'm sorry if there's a little bit of air in the background. My laptop likes to get nice and hot and need to cool off before I go live. I said I have to go live, and I was already running 5 minutes late. All right, so we got sexism, religion, disorders, so that's with mental, experience, sexual orientation, historical inequality, and systematic pressures. I'm going to explain each one, and that's part of the point of this live. These are the main reasons. These are the reasons that are in the way of women being able to trust men. And we'll start from the top. All right, good. You guys can hear me? Okay. All right, so we have sexism. What was interesting when I looked up sexism, the term itself is let me get right to it. Let me show you what it said. It's mostly against females. So even in the term itself, it's like it's basically saying, yeah, this is against women. Not so much men, even though it could go that way too. The focus is on women. So I found that interesting too. Um, with just with the definition itself. Let me get this back on the screen. 1 second. Right there. Okay. Sexism, like I said, kind of looked at as a piece of meat, whatever, but also in the workplace with sex. Where did it go? With sexism, it can affect your employment. It can affect other things too, just based on your gender. Also, religion. What I found interesting is that Christian women in particular are not comfortable with marital sex. So you done got married, but now you're having issues in the bedroom. Why? Well, one of the main reasons is you're brought up in a strict household, most of the time, if you're religious. So you have certain ways you have to live and be, and don't be touched, and don't you touch nobody. Then when you get married and it's time, a lot of women are having a hard time with marital sex. They're not comfortable. They feel dirty. They no longer feel pure. And that's because of the upbringing. So I've been looking into some of that information too. And this goes across the board with religion. There's different religions, but a lot of them have similarities when it comes to sex and things like that. Also, in particular, The sex act of oral sex is a huge turnoff for them. They have a hard time, not just with marital sex, but mostly with oral sex. A lot of them opt out, and that's with giving and or receiving. Same. So when you have issues in your intimacy, that affects your relationships too. And I've never heard any discussion with religious women until I went online and just started digging, because I was sometimes, like I said, I do research and then I just end up finding more, and they're not comfortable with it. But it's good they talk to their spouse about it. But usually the men, which interesting, is that they're usually fine with it. I don't hear any of the men like, well, I grew up like this, so it was hard for me to, be with a female later or express myself sexually and be comfortable. It's mostly women that you hear them having this difficulty with these difficulty, excuse me, with um, with their marital sex. Um, and let me bring this back up here. This is supposed to be up here. So we were going in order, right? So I did religion and okay, maybe this isn't the right one. Sorry about that. How about we leave that up for now? I had one where it broke it down specifically by in order, and that was going to help me keep order of what I was doing, right? Y'all can let me know what you're thinking. If you have any thoughts so far on anything that you've heard me say, some of this maybe your first time hearing, or maybe you've thought of some of these things already. All right, so I'm just taking a look here. So yeah, I'm gonna continue, because sometimes your files just they add up at the last minute. Nobody have time for that. So yeah. So we did religion, we got sexism, and then the next one coming in, I believe, are the disorders, and I'm getting into that right now. So how about we just go back to this? Disorders have to do with mental health. That's something to always keep in mind too. Hey D. Brother D Darrell in the building. Appreciate y'all coming out. Having just a little bit of issue with my presentation here. Working on some new software too, so I'm doing from a side and then under my box of the screen. Anyway, okay. How you doing? How y'all doing? How's everybody? Hope everybody's good. And maybe I'll see y'all back this weekend, possibly Friday. Who knows? We may do it today too, if y'all feel like playing for a little cash. So I showed everyone the bingo game that I got. So I want to, just have some fun playing, doing some things with y'all. Yeah, so a variety of things I discuss here. A lot of them tend to be serious, but I do like to have fun. I want to make uncomfortable conversations comfortable, because that's how we get to resolve our problems, right? D. Darrell, speaking of mental health, he's actually a mental health therapist, one of the best ones I've met. And he knows this, we like to solve, problems, those of us that do. And what's funny is a lot of us ain't always all that there, but D, he accepts all of us. He accepts us as we are, and it's appreciated, because we all have our little hang-ups. I know I got mine, and I had to work through them. And sometimes it's always a daily working process to keep, my life is in order, but just to keep my emotions right, to make sure I understand things and don't overinterpret things, because then that can come out and then that can hinder my relationships too, just like anyone else. So we definitely appreciate the professionals, and hopefully I appreciate people like me too, that I've tried to have a professional way of doing things, but I'm not accredited in these things. But I have educated myself through the education system, through schooling, but also with myself. I think I've taught myself a lot. So, all right. I'm gonna move. Oh, let me get the thing back up here. All right. So what we had here, disorders. So experience, and I put experience and not experiences because I'm just going to remove this. This is getting on my nerves a little bit. It's not doing what I'm telling it to do. Experience, because some people may just have inexperience, one experience, and it's affecting them, and it's affecting them greatly, and it travels with them for life. Or you could have experiences, one after another. So it starts to seem like it's just men. Men are just out to get us. It seems to just be them. What's wrong with them? And that's where we come in with the whole thing where we group someone all up like that together, and it's not right, it's not fair, and it's not accurate. Your experiences are something that you do have with you, but we try to do our best to heal from them and learn from them and be able to move forward. And I'll recap some of these again. I'm going to get back into some video, and then we'll go back into some of the rest of the list. Actually, I'll just shoot through the rest of the list. I'll recap at the end of the live. If anyone has anything they'd like to add, feel free. Okay.
Right for her. She escapes with a second to spare.
At this point, she wouldn't want to go outside to work or anything because she's scared this will happen again.
Can you believe the doors to the building were unlocked that night and remained so when Inside Edition was there? It's the moment of vulnerability we face every day. You're outside.
That's another thing too. It's a lack of protection, and we talk about Black women who seem to be the least unprotected. But also, there's just a lack of protection with others too.
This is an alarm. It could save your life. It's very easy to use. You just pull it.
Race and class always matters. Almost always matters. Race and class. If it's not your race, it's your class. Where do you live? Oh, you live here? You live in housing? How about we leave the doors unlocked? How about we do that when we like the crime central of the country? How about we leave them unlocked? So you come on in and hopefully you don't get banged out in the hallway, where a lot of senior women have been getting raped, sexually assaulted in the hallway of the apartment building. Yeah, the rapists have upped their standards. Those of us, not that we want to experience it, I guess we too young now. You're going for the seniors now, huh? So that's why I talk the way I do, because there's always something underlining as well to help shape the experiences that you have. That's on my list too, and I'm going to get to that in a hot second. So that threw her off because he was showing her the thing, but it was good because he shows how it helped.
Security expert Manny Gomez offered some important safety tips.
This is an alarm. It could save your life. It's very easy to use. You just pull it.
Oh, that's loud.
That's right. It's loud. It'll act as a deterrent.
Old-fashioned pepper spray I see you have.
Old-fashioned pepper spray as well. It's been around for decades, and it works really well. You just flip the cap and put it into somebody's eyes. That person will immediately have a negative burning sensation.
By the way, if you do get pepper spray, I always keep that. Test it out every so often, even if you do it once a month or how often you want to do that. Always test it out. Always hold it away from your face. Always look at where the nozzle hole is pointing so that you know it's not pointing at yourself. Always look at the temperature. If you're doing it outside, it's best to test your pepper spray or mace outside. Don't do it when it's a windy day. So consider weather and make sure you have it pointed in the right direction. So spray it because you always want to make sure it's going to come out. So like any other weapon, you want to make sure it works.
Reaction, and it'll give you time to escape and evade that assailant.
He also showed me a self-defense technique.
You can grab and knee to the groin, fingers to the eyes, chop to the throat.
Hopefully you will never find yourself in a crisis like this.
Hey, yo, Mitch.
Also, what's on my list is sexual orientation, LGBTQAI, etc. That has a lot to do too with how we view men. If you notice the gay women with lesbians, the majority of them became lesbians because of experience. Now that's debatable. Some people say, nope, you was born like that. It's like, nah, I've seen people get shaped into that. Almost everyone I've seen met online, whether I've really met them or got to know them through their speech, etc., They had an experience and it was traumatic. And a lot of things with women, the sexual experience was horrifying. They never want to go back to that. So they never go back to a man again, no matter how much they know they desire him. It's in our nature. We desire and attract our opposite gender. This could be part of the reason why there are lesbians taking a lot out on each other too. I don't know if y'all noticed. I talked about this on here on 2020, where lesbian couples have the highest rate of domestic violence. One more time. Lesbians, women in relationships, have the highest rate of domestic violence out of everyone. So you're so happy, and everything's just great. And, you want more rights and, hey, have that pride. What's going on? What's really up? Why the violence? Why is there so much? Why are you so angry? And what tends to happen is we as women, we want to be protected because we need that protection. And that's why you're finding women trying to become the man that they need in their life. They think they can become the man for that woman. It's impossible. Moving along. All right, any second that picture will go to the next one. Wait. Okay. So I looked at this here too. You can't put your trust in men, gender, just trust in marriage. So this is on my thing too. This is what we have coming up. This falls into the category of, so we just went over sexual orientation. So that's for people that are, fighting their actual natural desires, or I'll leave you alone. Let's say you don't want men anymore. But there's a difference between hating them, distrusting them, and just, hey, I just don't want to be with a man. There's a big difference. And they kind of mesh together in those communities. So that's my point. Now, historical inequality. In the beginning of history, women didn't have much rights. It was mostly for men. We know that, right? We know that a lot of y'all still have some of those ideologies, right? There's some people that feel that your genes of how your behaviors was and how your outlook on life is gets passed down generations too. So I wonder, how do y'all feel about that? Are there more and more men that are just stuck in the same way of, hey, women are a little beneath us. I'll respect you, but just do as I say. I might put my hands on you to keep you in order, things like that. So then that's when abuse can come into the play. So I want to know what y'all think about that too. But historical inequality still affects us now. That's why there isn't equal pay. That's why we don't even feel equal a lot of times in the workplace. Finally, systematic pressures. Systematic pressures are in here due to social media, but also welfare reform. With welfare reform, it seems to help break up families rather than put them together and help send them on their way to independence. Here's within the article that I've mentioned, you can't put your trust in men.
It's
If you
Elsie the
see
big
here,
fat.
it says, the chapter argues that the welfare reform policies did not effectively promote marriage because they did not address the distrust between men and women. And there's people that I've heard speak on that on YouTube, and they were like, yeah, welfare gets in the way. And I felt men were blaming welfare because women needed extra help. But if I look deeper, there is more to it. It helps keep you apart. It's like it almost promotes individualism and the struggle of it all.
It's Elsie the big fat.
Y'all can let me know how y'all feel about that. But that goes right in here with that. And that's what I had there. So sexism, religion, disorders, which is mental disorders that someone may have, experience, prior experience that you have had or experiences, and sexual orientation. Something happened to you and it's altered your way of thinking. It's altered your view of men. I know people personally, okay? I know a woman now, she's married to a woman and they had a lot of issues. It was interesting. Uh I don't know, and then she told me about what had happened to her with a man. And ever since then, she never went back. She was just like, no, mm-mm. She just said it like, nah, I'm gay, like, And it's not always easy for people to open up about it, but I like when they do because I want them to know that they can share it, with me. Not no one knowing who it is, but just sharing how you feel, and we should be able to talk about things more, especially things that affect us so much. You know. So, all right, take a pause. I'm gonna go into the chat now. Um, okay, Lo, that was. Oh, sorry. TC. All right, so I guess I'll read from the chat. If no one's gonna join, hop up here. What's your opinion on poly lifestyle? My opinion is it could work. It definitely can work with the right people involved. But I do feel like when you're culturally brought up in a certain way, it's much more acceptable and you have an understanding and you have more of a will to work towards it and know your role in that type of relationship. The way a lot of us are raised a little different than that and in America and stuff. So the poly lifestyle, on the other hand, just seems like a guy just kicking back, getting all the cootie cats and stuff, and just, laying up with one and the other. But then I would question, is everyone going to be in the same household or not? Because that makes a difference to me. Your family is different when you're in a poly relationship under the same household. And I think that's really the way it was meant to be. But then there's some people that say no. Hold on, let me switch. Then some people say like no, but it's supposed to be there to help. First off, the man has to be resourceful enough to have all these women, but then there may be somewhere the women are involved economically also. So it depends on how you can make it work. It could work because there's plenty of people that do it and they're fine. I just disagree with women that know they're not down for it. But if you were to ask her because she like you, and she'd be like, yeah, well, yeah, whatever you want to do, yeah, I'm okay, yeah. But she knows she really not down for it, it's gonna be a mess. It's gonna be a mess. And a lot of women are kind of seem like they're thinking like, well, maybe I will go poly with it because they just want a man in their life. You have to have the right relationship or you're gonna ruin it. Somebody like me, you might gotta watch. I might put something in the Kool-Aid. Like, oh, everybody thirsty? Y'all want something to drink? Out of here. I don't know. I'm kind of selfish with my chocolate, though. I'm kind of selfish. We got somebody in the back. TC?
Hey.
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 What you doing, sir?
Nothing. It's ironic that I just did a live stream on poly and relationships and reasons why the families is being broken up, and the algorithm is so on point. It just brought me to you, but I'm subscribed to your channel, so definitely a great topic.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I wish I knew too that you had done this. I was off YouTube for a while, for a few months,
Hmm.
and because they were acting funny. So what I did was I didn't even sign in under my name. So, but I still haven't had anything come up that I didn't realize that you just did something. So I'll have to check out your
Well,
channels.
you wouldn't. You probably yeah. You probably wouldn't be subscribed to that channel. It's the channel that I'm under
Oh,
the avatar on. It's a whole nother channel. Besides my TC channel.
oh, okay. Well, this is
Yeah.
TC right here on the panel.
Yeah.
So TC Trap Talk TV. Oh, all right.
So I mean, I was catching a little bit of your thoughts on the poly, and because I was just searching for answers because I've noticed, and it's just not online because there is certain pockets online that's really designed to separate the family,
Mm,
and you bringing up the topic like why women aren't dating, and I tell you right, I think social media has really made people antisocial. you know,
mm,
um, unless it's a woman my
mhm.
age or older, y'all really became hard to approach in person.
Wow.
And I got sons that's teenagers, and I got one that's an adult. And my adult son told me, he's like, man, everything's on Instagram now. You know, and it's like, wow, really? So I mean, that's one way that I see things have changed drastically. But I mean, I could be wrong. I could be
Let me
wrong, but
ask, when he says everything's on Instagram, what does he mean by everything?
well, as far as like dating, you know, um, the online dating thing has become a real big thing where people are more comfortable meeting online than actually in person
Okay.
nowadays. And I've noticed, it's the summertime. I'm in Philly. I'm in a big city, so I'm out all the time, and I'm in bars, restaurants. I see people like literally in their phone while they're supposed to be partying, and it's weird to me. I'm like,
Mm,
you know, I put my phone away. I put it on silent because I don't even want to be interrupted. But man, I'm in here and I'm looking around. I'm like, everybody's in their phone. They got their drink in one hand and their phone in the other hand. I'm like, this is supposed to be like a social space.
oh shit. Right, absolutely. I dropped you down by mistake really quick, but I got everything you said in here. That's good that you noticed that too, and I really shouldn't be surprised because you're a deep thinker, and that's why I kind of like follow things you've done on YouTube. You're a deep thinker. You don't just take stuff for what it is. You will notice things that other people won't, and that's like a quality that I noticed that you have, and it's good that you're taking notes of that. Because it seems like maybe it's going to be a shift in the generation too, a new generational thing. Like you said, people are more comfortable meeting online. It's crazy because like I'm so opposite of that.
Right.
Even what I'm doing now took so much for me to even have my voice on here. To be honest, to be
Mm-hmm.
totally honest, like when my voice, I don't know. I have a hard time watching myself, listening to myself, but I force myself so that I know that I'm doing better on here and I have stuff straight. Meeting people online is like crazy to me. And
Mm-hmm.
knowing so many people do it, I feel like I'm in another world. Like I don't
Right.
even live on the same planet as like the majority. Everybody else does stuff differently. And I don't agree with it, but I watch it and we almost can draw the conclusion of what's gonna happen, how it's
Right.
gonna end up going. And it's like, what is everybody doing?
Yeah. Well, a lot of it is you don't have a narcissistic personality neither. When you say you have a hard time with this, because you're not fully yourself. Some of these people, they get the false sense of, being popular online or being popular in real life. And,
Mm,
sometimes you got to test, you're not in real life. And like, we're around the same age probably. And, we come from a different era. And, I'm not trying to sound narcissistic, but I was pretty decent in that era of having to do things in real life. So when I see this new thing, you know what I'm saying, where everything, your business is online, your social life is online, everything, and that doesn't seem genuine to me. When I like to go out and I like to, if I am in that type of environment, I like to interact, without feeling like I'm creeping somebody out or somebody feels uncomfortable, and that's what I get now. And I don't know if it's, that 1 year and a half that a lot of us was sheltered, but yeah, I get that feeling now. Like, these people are sheltered. Are they shy? Are they
Plus,
just, weird?
it's the I think it's yeah, I think the times that are changing are adding weirdom, if that's
Yeah.
even a word.
Right.
I'm a bit of a weirdo, but I take pride in it
Right.
because I don't do it to hurt nobody, you know, and
Hmm.
people kind of get a kick out of my weirdness and they like it. So I'm like, cool, I need to wear it and wear it well. So, but with what I saw, and you're a brother from Philly, and what I saw recently, and I actually, that's cool that you came up here. I have something coming up and I'm going to use for my chat on the distrust of black men.
Hmm.
Why do people not trust particularly black men? And I'm gonna go in on that one. Now, I saw a brother come on from Philly, and it was in a short. You might have seen it. He said, I seen it somewhere. I wish I remember where I saw it, but I know it's on YouTube. He said on there, he said, listen, men, brothers, he said, we're scaring the women. He said, we're becoming way too violent in our communities, and it's
Hmm.
affecting the women. He said, we can't even holler at them now.
Right.
And it made me pause. And I was like, wait, wow. He said, you can see a woman across the street. And guys, y'all do y'all thing, and you guys are usually the assertive ones. And I feel like
Hmm.
that's the way it's supposed to go in the kingdom anyway. But
Hmm.
they holler, they said they try to run away, or they're like, no, 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 or they won't say anything. He said they're scared of us. They're scared
Right.
of the situation. And not just you guys because you're a black man and oh, you might have a gun. Somebody might be about to pop you. He
Mm.
said they are so nervous and they will say it like, nah, I don't want to stay out so long. Or yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah. Well, what's your name, short? What's your name? Well,
Right.
no, I can't talk to you, and I don't want to be over here right now. I'm not comfortable, and it's sad because we should be comfortable, and we
Right.
need each other. This ain't no joke. This isn't, oh, I don't have that food today. I'll get it another day. Or this, nah, we need each other.
Right. Well, I would say this, right? Again, I come from a generation where, you know, we've always known danger. We've known how to sense it. We feel the vibes like, okay, this, but I'm not trying to speak from a female standpoint, but, you know, um, I get it. I get the danger, but that never interfered with, me being able to talk to a woman. So, and again, I think that the times has changed where we're actually getting exposed and starting to see the dangers, not just in our communities, but worldwide. There was times I wouldn't know what was going on in Chicago growing up. I wouldn't know what was going on in New York for the most part, but I know everything that's going on everywhere now. And it puts fear, in me, knowing like, yo, like it's getting crazy out here, mass shooting over here, or um some anti-black things going on over here. I get it. But to label black men as the danger to society is kind of like, wow, really? Like, but
Mhm.
I mean, I understand it because there are some of us out here that's wild, that's just being completely goofy, and we're not taking anything into consideration. The danger that we pose, or the stereotypes that we're actually creating for ourselves. We're not taking any of that into consideration. And I don't want to say, well, it's this person's fault, or I'm just saying as a whole, in general, yeah, we have to do better. We definitely do.
Yeah, I agree with that. You got a good perspective too, because you've been here a while longer than some of the youth that are out here now. So you're seeing the change, but it sounds like you also feel like there's always been crime, which is true. There's always been crime.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you're like, hey, why is it, it's not just you guys, with all of this going on, but it seems to be affecting women. But yeah, there is um, different things. Um, but it seems to boil down to that, just protection. You got to be protected. Um, Even the economical part isn't that much of a big deal now either, because we win bread too. We're breadwinners as well. Many
Hmm.
years ago, it was always the man. So you would think we would be able to come together even better now. Like, okay, you got your thing
Right.
going on, I got my thing going on. And I remember you mentioned in the past too, like you've been home and you helped hold the house down. And there's plenty of men that do that too. We all have different roles. It's just what works for us. What works
Yeah.
for us. And what I noticed with you, that probably helped you to expand your horizons mentally, because you put forth like a lot of work and put insight behind it too. And that takes some time. You can't really be all over the place and have great insight, you know. And when you probably were all over the place a bit, you still seem like the type of man that took from those experiences, and you didn't forget things, and you analyze them, you know. And that's why you're able to offer us what you do here on YouTube too. So I suggest y'all check them out too. You have some, you always have some decent content.
Well, I think experience. I think life experience trumps everything because, again, I just had this discussion. We used to hear all the time, oh, child, you don't want to have a baby, child, black women are just quick to put you on child support. It was that narrative. Then it was everybody is diseases and all that, but until you really go out there, like, I just spoke on how a lot of men nowadays, they're actually being pushed away from single mothers. It's almost like a sin now to date a woman that has kids already. And I get it. I've dated some women that had baby father drama. I've dated some women that didn't have baby father. They didn't even talk, didn't even know where their baby father was. But it was never a thing where all of them, where we just put them all in a box and say, oh, you have a kid, oh, you're off the list. You really have to go out and seek and find out if that person is worth starting a relationship with, because not everybody's the same. You might meet a woman that has a child, but again, that doesn't mean that she's not ready to marry a man that's willing to take on it. That's not always the case. But now I see a lot of like rhetoric and a lot of like content where they're telling like, yo, don't date a single mother. And I think that's kind of stupid, because your soulmate might be a single mother. You know what I'm saying? She may have slipped up, made a mistake, and had the baby by the wrong guy. But here it is. She could be the perfect woman for you. You know what I'm saying? Because for the most part, a single mother is going to she's going to have her stuff together. She's not going to want to, be reckless or, make the wrong choices because she's already made that bad choice. You know what I'm saying? Right. Now she's looking for something solid. She's looking for something genuine. And if you offer that, everything's going to be fine. But again, some might have baby father drama. Some might have a little bit too much baggage and didn't learn their lesson. So it kind of works both ways.
Right. Those are some really good points. Yeah, they put down women that have children. And it's like we're here on this earth to live our lives, but we're also here to reproduce those that are able to.
Right.
So it's like, do you not want the woman to reproduce, or did she do it too soon for you, or she already had a kid? So it's like, I do get it too. And if certain people that don't even have a child already, they may really want someone else that doesn't have one yet or doesn't want to have any children. So there's that too. But to be judged on your family size or having a family isn't good. But of course, too, I mean, not of course, but we don't want to have a bunch of babies all over the place either, because that just it just adds too much unnecessary mess. So people do sit around and count how many baby dads you got, how many, that's kind of corny too, because it's about how stable is the home. Is this dude gonna be running in and out? Do we gonna be busting each other upside the head? But it's the same way with women. Like when you guys have children by women, the women usually we're automatically not gonna like the other woman. And it's hard to get past that because she got you now. Even if I don't want you, like, so what? Don't come to my house with her. If you got to come by here, I wish you would. And I see that even in the court system, because I watched court, things like that. And it seems like we just have those emotions that we just hold on to. But it's tough. But like you said, but finding your soulmate, if you find your soulmate, you best rock. You best rock on out, because there's nothing that really compares to that person that is your soulmate. The rest, I don't know. You can maybe try to make it work, but good luck, with that, I guess.
Well, I think that's the ultimate goal. You know what I'm saying? Like, is to find the perfect one, the one that that you could be yourself around. I
Yeah,
brought this
absolutely.
point up the other day. I said it's weird because um, we was talking about the poly thing. Like, well, you'll have some people out here that have titles like. You got your main squeeze, your wife here, whatever. Then you got your mistress or your, and I'm telling them, like, side women are winning right now. You know what I'm saying? They really ain't got no ties to the man. And I've noticed, I've seen people go out of their way to, really impress the side woman or the mistress or whatnot. But here it is, you could really be yourself. If you got your soulmate, you could really be yourself around that person. And your soulmate might understand if you like a variety, because the woman that I was talking to, she said from what she understands, men like variety. Um, some men don't want to just be, and it really depends on the age of the man also. Some men don't like to be with just one woman. That's how the whole poly conversation came about. But at the same time, you gotta know, like, if the woman isn't with that, she might want just you and her, husband and wife, and that's it. But you do have open relationships, open marriages out here where they're just free spirits, but they know how to come together when it counts. So I mean, I
Yeah,
don't know. I think it really just gotta, the situation really just gotta suit you, and you gotta be comfortable with it.
right.
Um,
You have to be comfortable with
yeah,
it.
a lot of men out here wouldn't be comfortable with a woman that still has, because I've seen this also, where a guy would feel intimidated. Like, let's say, a woman has a child, and her and the father, they actually get along. The guy's a great dad, and they're actually able to co-parent. Some men feel intimidated by that because they think that this woman still would have an emotional attachment to this man just because he's a great father, and that could be true in some instance. Like, yeah, you need to watch that situation, because if she still has, like, feeling, because once you have a child with somebody, there's always going to be some type of emotional attachment. But
Hmm.
if he's in the child's life and he's like really a good father, and she might still see a great man in this guy, and only thing he has to do is tell her, like, yo, let's go. And she's going to leave you to go back to her baby father. I've seen situations like that also. So, like I said, it could work both ways.
Yeah. A friend of mine, a good friend of mine, from some years back. I like conversating with her too. She's just so open and honest. That's what I love. Like anything other than that, I probably ain't even got no part in it. Um, because we don't get nowhere being otherwise. And in those type of relations, and like you said, with being poly, you can't fake it to make it.
Right.
You really need to have an understanding and be able to be comfortable in it. Like you said. What I was gonna say, wait, it was poly thing. I'm gonna get back in the chat in a second too, guys. Uh, that how do you feel? All right, this was told to me too. A dude that have kids with either one baby mama or different ones, it don't matter. They feel that they'll always go back and sleep with them.
Mm-hmm.
That's her exact words. She said, "Oh, so and so, yeah, they got kids. Oh, they always." She said, "They always gonna fuck their baby mother."
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I never thought of it like that. She said they always do. They're always gonna go back and sleep with them. And it made me feel like, wow, like that would make me not want a guy that has kids.
Mm-hmm.
If I got to think that you're going to particularly go back to the women because you have kids with them, how's that going to leave me or another woman, So I don't know. There's that too on the flip side. Um, how do you feel about poly the other way around? Do you feel there is a such thing? Like if I was a woman and I had multiple men, how would you view that?
I would, I couldn't go for it. I'm just being honest. I just, because women tend to cling on emotions. You know, um, a woman could be dating multiple men, but trust me, there's one guy that she really likes. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
really? Okay.
I mean, no. I'm just,
No, you
again,
probably right. It's just, I need to hear it. That's,
no. I mean, again, I'm only going off experience. In my experience, I know that for the most part, there's always one guy that a woman likes. It could be me. It could be somebody else. But you never a man's ego to me. Now, again, it's just my ego would not allow me to play second or partners with another man. I just can't. You know. Um, but there might be other guys out there that's willing to do that. You
it's
know,
probably not that many. It seemed like
right,
it's different. Yeah.
right.
And then the
You know,
woman would be looked at as different. That seemed like
right.
it would be an automatic, like, ew. But then it's like, okay, but the guy can keep dipping in
Hmm.
different. Because to be honest, let me just get a little graphic more into it because this is what I be thinking about. Because I know there's some men that contemplate on that and having multiple women. If
Hmm.
I was one of them, um, I don't know. I don't know how to really answer that because it really depends. But I think too much of myself and what I
Hmm.
have going on and what I could do for a man that I don't see how he would have room for another chick. But let's say, okay, you make room because somehow y'all know how to make room.
Hmm.
You do, but don't be dipping in all our dippings. Like you can't be like too intimate with somebody else and then run right to me. And me and her could be cool with everything, but are we gonna be in a bed together at the same time with you? I'll be wondering about that. And like, say if it is separate, like don't be bringing me nobody else fluids. Like I don't play those
Hmm.
games. And then
Yeah.
2020 just made it worse on my
Right.
mental with all of
Right.
it. Like I can't. I think people smell different. I you would
No,
think I
that's
got a shell on my back. Like I just be in a shell.
no, that's a good point because I remember a long time ago I got caught cheating because I mean, yeah, I really didn't get caught, but she knew because she's like, "Yo, my pH balance is off," and I was like, I'm like, "What the hell is she talking about?" And she was like, "No, like I know you sleeping with somebody else because my pH balance." I didn't know what the fuck. I'm like, "What do you mean your pH balance is off?" But just as I got older, I understood what it meant, but I was like, wow, like, if you are sleeping with multiple partners, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you, like you said, don't bring any fluids back. It wasn't necessarily that the other person was dirty or I'm nothing. It's just that, when you sharing the same penis, it could throw your pH balance off. And you like, wow, I didn't even like, that's something that I wouldn't even know, but that plays a huge role in it. And not only that, some women, like you said, what you bring to the table. Some women, especially nowadays, are territorial just as much as men. So
Yeah, that's true. That's
how how
true.
how could I approach a woman that's territorial and say, yeah, we're going to add somebody else to our life? You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
she doesn't want to feel like she's in competition with anybody. She doesn't want to feel like she's going to be playing second to anybody else. So
right.
again, it really depends on the situation.
Yep. Hey, non swirl zone. Peace to you. Thanks for active chat. Appreciate y'all and TC coming up here. Yeah. So yeah, with that, a lot of people don't really talk about pH balance. So a lot of us didn't know exactly what it was either, and that's why too douching. I don't even think they barely. I think they barely sell douche, and I thought too, like, sometimes women use it maybe, after you menstruate because you want to be cleaner, or if you're in between sex partners, or you just have sex, or just you just want to just be cleaner, you want to feel cleaner. But that helps throw it off too. So the most natural way is just certain soap, which I'm just gonna put it out there. Watch what soaps you use. I wish Cardi B would listen. You have to use mild soaps. Those are better. If you want to use a perfume soap, use that in other areas of the body. Like I do that sometimes. Sometimes I hit the armpits more with different soap. But everything else, I use a beauty bar on my body. I never have an issue. And if you do that, and especially if you're not having sex, you shouldn't have any issues vaginally. I mean, zero, no, none. But most people are engaged in sexual activity too. So there's that. And thank you for sharing that too. We appreciate that. You know, people can take something from that too. You know, you speaking on personal experience with that. And you know, same thing with women. You know, if you're messing around with different people too, you're the one messing around. I think you're gonna smell different. Um, it's just something different, and to keep control over that, you know, too. Because I know with myself, I've dated, and I've, you know, I had different people, and you just want to be careful with that. And it is different. Like, I enjoyed my sexual relations with guys and stuff, but at the same time, I had to make sure I was okay. Make sure I'm clean. I get clean, but I can't still be smelling like somebody else. Like, you know. And I picked up on that before too. Like, it just seemed like it wasn't me, And then I was like, nah, like, So, and then other things that can come from the situation or the way people treat each other, all that stuff. It's just like, you really just need to know what phase you are in your life. If you want to be freer, you have to just be up on the up and up with your body too. And people don't talk about it enough. That's why I was like, man, people got to get themselves together. They do. And like you said, social media, it shows certain things, but it doesn't show everything. And people hide a lot. They only show you certain things. They don't show you the dark side to their lifestyles, let alone some of the truths of their lifestyles or what they really just showing on here. Someone asked a question. Where is that? Oh, marriage among Black people is at an all-time low. No. Well, that's marriage all around the board. That I wouldn't really pick up on race when it comes to marriage, because there's plenty of white, Asian, there's other people too. They're divorcing, and they're not becoming married like they were before. Most people got married at a young age. Young. You was a teen, late teen, early 20s, married. You're not really seeing that now. And when you do, you see it in traditions where you're basically forced to do it. It's a cultural thing. So that's still a little different. Now, if you have other data, low value man, that you have or you want to share, let me know.
I've come to the realization that data is actually pretty hard to get. I mean, unless you really going through the marital licenses from every county, I don't understand where they be getting some of this data from. I think it's
I'll
all
go to
BS.
statistics. I usually go to government sites, and
Right.
a lot of things you're looking for, they'll give you the statistics or at least percentage, and then they'll break it down geographically. So are we looking at it worldly? We want to know, or am I going to look at it just from America? So I
Yeah.
look at things like that and go by the percentages of that. And also watching where you get your information from too, because they've been playing with data too.
Yeah.
I have proof of like 2 different data sheets. So somebody lying,
Yeah.
and it's harder on people like me that really do the research, and I want to come with the correct information, but there's too much, I forget the term,
Too much bad
inaccuracy.
data. Much
Yeah.
less misleading data also. But
Right.
what's your opinion, right? Because um, I keep hearing this fearing black men, fearing black men. You know, like is it that bad? Or have we become the same stereotype that we hate? Like from your perspective, like should women really just fear black men? Should they feel comfortable around other races than their own kind? Because I hear that a lot.
For me, I've always taken value in my own people, so I don't see us and them when it comes to Black people. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm always comfortable around my people, and I'm always going to be most comfortable around Black men and
Right.
women. So that's embedded in me, but that's me. But I be thinking about it too. Like, I've tried to put myself in other people's shoes and see how they would view Black men. How would they even view Black women? So a lot of it comes from media. They show us in a negative way. And I know we know this, but seriously, all Black women don't have attitude problems. A lot of women have attitude problems sometimes. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's not the
Right.
same. So
Right.
But the other thing too, I don't like when people are too hard on women and how we are feeling and the things we're saying, because most women menstruate monthly. You have to take in consideration that sometimes we have an uncomfortable feeling, and it's just by nature we get moody. So sometimes we want to just be by ourselves. We don't want to take it out on nobody else. And to the heaven above, I don't understand why we have to go through that, because even while I'm going through it, I know that I'm almost feel like I'm another person a little bit. I'm getting angry. I feel like throwing something. It's like that's not even me, but it's part of the PMS for a little while. But I acknowledge it and I get through it. And if anything, I counteract it. I do things I like. I bring sense around to calm the mood. There's different things that can enhance how you feel, and then it'll show to other people, because I don't want to mistreat nobody either. But there's that. The fear of the black man has been taught. There's no reason to fear the black man. Oh, they're violent. So are all men, if they need be. It's
Right.
in every man to have a physical thing. You guys are physical. Women, we will out scream each other for minutes on end. Men will get physical and want to have it out. You guys are just more physical, but they keep leaving off men and they want to just claim it for black men. Also, the fact that um, black people, and I have a video on that, the DNA one, we're the original people. We was here first. We helped civilize. We built. So how can you turn and say, man, you guys are the problem? You know what? I wonder what it would be like with no black people ever, or at least over here, at least in this state. Because some people were even saying, hey, what if we had our own state? Good luck with that. Most things were founded through black people. So I wouldn't dare ever turn and be like, oh my God, I fear black men ever. Now, is there a change in things? It does seem like it, but it's a general thing. There are just men that seem to be more aggressive, not just with each other, but with us. So it does seem like it's gotten worse. Um, Blackness, when you think of the term black, it's spooky, it's dark, black. So they put that in with our race too. We do it too. We speak too negatively of our own people, and we do it often. And a lot of people have done it, and we have to stop. Make your point. Stop dragging all black people in. Stop saying it's because we can't stand each other, y'all. You notice that black people hate black people, y'all? Okay, do you hate black people? I hope you don't. Okay, I don't either. So stop saying all, stop saying most. What it is a way for us to separate ourselves to make ourselves feel better. If I just put everything on black men, they get to take the slack of everything. I'll just blame it all on them. Like, it starts to become that, and that's it. Now, some people may say, what about all that violence in y'all community? Because people love bringing that up. And it's a tough topic. But majority of those situations are eye for an eye. And we've always been eye for an eye people. People in the chat right now, you guys are eye for an eye too. But you don't look at yourself as a Pookie and Ray Ray. But you have to see that they're economically challenged in a lot of these communities. They're really fighting over ego and economics. I think those are just the main two things. Their ego or economics is the real fight that these black men end up have killed themselves over. It's usually not a whole lot of nothing else. And when it comes to economics, not everyone, but most people would kill to get what they need to survive. Most people will do things you wouldn't imagine to get ahead. And white men have done it from early on, but everybody wants to skip past all of that and just go focus on the black men. And it's not right. No, you shouldn't just fear black men. Another thing that's a stigma with fearing black men is that, man, they're just so aggressive. That's why we got to keep locking them up. I mean, these prisons are filled with black men, right? Wrong. I just saw the data 2 videos ago. It's filled mostly with white men. But see, we keep thinking the negative. So our minds will start to think that too. Darkness isn't good. Black men, they come with this and they come with that. It's like, what are y'all talking about? It's wrong. We have the wrong information. So yeah, things have been getting worse in some of the black communities. But at the same time, it's sad. It would be wrong. It's bad, and it's just wrong to just say that black men are the problem, and oh my God, you best steer clear of them. No, it doesn't make any sense. What you're doing is you're going away from the original man, and you're going to leave the original man hanging, and that's what people are gearing up to do. And when I think of hanging, I think of how they hung so many black men. No other people were hanging from trees like ornaments. Nobody else has it as tough in a lot of societies as black men. It's not an excuse, it's reality. So that's my take on it.
I agree with everything you said because I've actually seen black people in general whole energy change when they're around other races. I've seen people go out of their way to make other races feel more comfortable around them as opposed to their own people. I mean, I guess that's why, the crime rate is amongst us is high because we will have different energy amongst each other than we would have other races. But, again, I don't I don't want to hang everything on that. I'm gonna just say that I agree with you. I feel way more comfortable around my own people than anybody else. I just do,
Right. And you
you
should.
know. And I wouldn't. I live in a pretty diverse area. Like it's I'm around whites, Mexicans, Asians, Arabs, all of that, and for the most part, everybody sticks to their self and stick to their own kind. But I wouldn't feel. I feel more of a threat, because I think long term. I think of like war tactics. I would feel more threatened if I see more of them than us. Because I would think, yo, if they ever decide to want to like, really hate us and really like get us out of here, they could outnumber us and really like push us out. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I'm all for more of my own people than others. You know what I'm saying? But you got some people out here that don't want to, they don't even want to live amongst their own people. I'm like, how? Like, why? Why would you want to live amongst people that's not you? You know what I'm saying? Like, you could
Right.
easily be the target. So
Yeah.
it's weird like that. It's real. It's really weird like that. But I mean, you said something about our energy. You know, um, we do have a lot of like, I don't know the clinical term for our energy, but like testosterone or whatever. I could see how that could make some people feel uncomfortable. But at the same time, that's just us. We might be, just at a higher frequency. Where even in the athletics, like I said, I got a bunch of sons, man. When I get them out the park and there's other kids out there, you know, they're just ripping, running loud, and but I look at that as a good thing. Like, yeah, release all that energy. You know what I'm saying? Because when we get
Right.
home, I want you to go to, you know what I'm saying? I want you to eat and go to bed. But yeah, that makes some people feel uncomfortable. I've seen other parents. So when I bring my kids around and my kids is jumping and flipping and swinging up, they get together and their kids are like, it's time to go. And I just like, more fun for us. But
Right.
it'd be weird like that. And that's the only thing I could discharge it to. Like, people is just weird. They
Yeah.
don't understand. Some people see something that they don't understand, they immediately get scared. Like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why they jumping around and being so loud and dancing and so they automatically get defense because they think it's supposed to be a quiet place. No, it's not. You know, we're at a barbecue. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Supposed to enjoy themselves. And
We at
then
a
keep
block
in
party.
mind too that they don't look at our children as children.
Hmm.
Non-black people, especially the Caucasians that are in America, they look at our little black boys as men. They don't look
Hmm.
at them as kids. They skip our
Right.
childhood. We don't get to have one.
Right.
It's
Right.
crazy.
It is.
So,
It is,
three
man.
quarters of a human, or I believe they say that black people, Africans are, and our children are grown. When they see a black boy, that's why they say, yeah, that man over there, it looked like he was being mischievous. Who, him? Yeah, him right there.
It's
And it
13.
became a threat to me, and that's why I called the police. And you're like, wow, like this is a whole boy. So I already know that they don't even look at us right. Racism is one of the most delusional mindsets that anyone can have. It
Hmm.
just is, and it puts people in danger. There's video I just saw yesterday where it was on Indisputable with Rashad Ritchie. He showed this white woman approaching a black man like they like to do. They usually act like they running, but now they're approaching you guys. So that's
Right.
interesting. Reaching their little blonde heads into the window. Excuse me. No, like I said, you've been sitting here for about an hour. You don't live here.
I seen
Ma'am,
that
you're getting
video.
in my space. I'm rolling
I
the
seen
window. He
that.
started rolling the window up. That's right. Roll that window up. And if that pointy
I,
nose gets stuck in there, it's too bad. They have to stop what they're doing. And then she started yelling, I'm scared of you. Well, it's a black man over here, and I'm just going to tell him. She kept getting closer and closer, but repeating she feared the black man, and she was coming over to him. So it's reversed delusional psychology that's been going on. And again, it's towards the black men. And the longer we can keep up blaming you guys for most things that go wrong, it's going to work. It's just blaming
well,
you guys. And it's working.
well,
Some of it's working.
well, let me ask you something. If white women are so threatened by us, why do they feel so comfortable approaching us? And because for the most part, right? White men don't do weird stuff like that unless it's like a couple of them. You see a white guy, he's not going to approach another black guy like that. But white women, they feel so comfortable, like, oh, you don't live here. What are you doing here? I seen another video where the woman was upset about a bunch of kids being at a pool at an apartment complex. She's like, y'all don't live here. Like, what are y'all doing here? And her boyfriend was actually like, yo, you need to chill. Like, it don't even matter they live here. Like, they're not bothering us. But
Right.
his girlfriend was so adamant about finding out if they live here. It's like, what makes them feel so comfortable? Is it because so many black men, they feel desired by us? Like what is up with that?
I think that's part of it. Part of it is the fact that, and the woman even said it. There's videos of that too. With Joe Dub, he said he saw the video too. Yeah. She was like, "Well, I'm white," and they were like, "So what? Like, it's me and my friend. We can park here. We're going in the house." She said, "No, well, I'm white," and she was drunk, slurring it. They feel like just the color of their skin, they have that privilege. I have a right to ask you, black man, why are you here? They have a right. They've been taught that. Some people feel it's in their genetics. I think they're taught that. I don't know. That's a little debatable too, where they get this from. But like you said too, that is interesting. You don't really see white men do it. They do it. But I think too, I have to take a little off of them a bit because women in general, we're the ones that like to organize. We're the ones that like to know the details on things. We like to know who's supposed to be what and where. That's why we're secretaries. That's why we're the one doing the meet minutes all the time and stuff. So when women see something like them or the Karens or whatever, they want to know what's going on. They feel they have the privilege, but I think they also is, I'm not trying to give them credit, but it's like as women, we like to articulate things. We will break down why you shouldn't be here. When a man, he's just going to be like, hey, who are you looking for? And that's the end of the discussion. Women, we're going to still go on and on. Yeah, well, like I said, so, and it's on and on. Well, what did you say your name was again? Oh, well, what about, and it's like, come on, man, like, why are you still talking so much? So it's the chatty pattiness. That's something that's feminine anyway. Men, y'all want to know what's up and what up. And then you might start throwing blows at each other. Us, we keep going on and on. And like you said, too, an attraction, a lot of them are taught that you guys really want them. So when they see the black man, they're like, oh man, I'm not even on the market. And even if I was, I'm not dating a black man. Sorry. He ain't even thinking about you though. Some of them, yeah, but they're men. And that's why I like to make a clear point. You can be attracted to anyone of any race. I see attractive people, but there's a big difference in between who you would mate with, who you would wish to have children with. Could you spend your life with the person? Would you have intercourse with them? Most of the time, no. They just look good. And somewhere our lines get crossed to where if someone's attractive, that means we should be able to have them. If someone's attracted to me, that means he want to sleep with me. No, he just thinks I'm attractive. That shouldn't automatically mean bang, 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 boom, whatever happened, happened. But I think in their minds, they feel like they're God's given. They are adored, and they have been. Just like I opened this bag of chips up, because I'm not even used to seeing people of color. I'm gonna turn the camera on a second. On a bag of chips. Now they've been on for some years, but they're doing more of these now, and I just think it's really cool. But it also, to me, when I was growing up, I never saw a black face on anything other than maybe Uncle Ben's on a box of rice and Aunt Jemima. And they even took her bonnet off or whatever, but it's like you don't see much representation. Even this is a rapper. I mean, he's a Crip, so if we really get into it, people will be like, yeah, and he smokes, he likes, so it's not the most positive, but I know that he's done positive things in his life. And I guess I'm still just trying to make a point that we don't really have representation, or still don't really have enough in a good light of black people. We always see white people, and white women have always been glorified. They were always our beauty standard. That's why now you see black women, they scared to show themselves with their hair being natural. And over time, I was getting to know my hair more because I manipulate it with different things, or the way I'm styling it and such. But just let it be free sometime and see what your hair will do is kind of shocking to us, and even myself, because I guess I never really just let it be. So it's like we run from ourselves, and we're looking like we want to be white. The blonde hair always got to be pressed straight, and we shouldn't do that. Wear your hair the way you want. But I think as black women too, we got to show more of our natural beauty. And with white women, they feel they're already the most beautiful. You guys got weird hair, and they want to touch it sometime. And just, there was a woman I saw, and I think she does meth. And I seen her in New York, and I seen her another time. And when she saw me, she just came talking to me, and I was like, what is she talking about? And she said, oh, what are you over here doing? And I was like, she said, oh, you're messing with the tree? And I said, yeah, I like the flowers. So I was just going to, sniff it. And that's what I was doing, smelling the flower. She looking like she just was on something. Well, she looked coherent, but anyway. And she just kept talking to me. And I was kind of thinking, like, what does this woman really want from me? Like, I'm not understanding. And I don't have, and anyone that hears this, we don't have an issue with white people or any other race. We're just basically talking about ourselves and our feelings being people of color. So it was like she wanted to touch me so bad or something. I don't know what it was. And then she was like, oh, and then I laughed, and she said, oh, good, I made you laugh. But I know she looked at me as this black woman or this African, whatever. So I'm like, all right, and then she touched me on my shoulder real quick. And then she like touched my arm and left it there, her hand, for a minute. So I don't know. And it's like, some people feel like, no, don't let them take your energy. Nobody's going to take anything from me. I'm welcoming. But I wanted to know, like, deep down, like, what does she feel about me because of my black skin or something? Or, I just felt like she wanted to do more to me, or like really sit. She just kept talking. But the touching, that was interesting to me. I was like, okay. It's like, wow. So I didn't go off like that. But I think that's a lot of the reason behind with white women and why they feel like that, because they look at you guys like you have the audacity to come in my neighborhood. You don't belong here. And it's been that way for centuries. If you think way back, they were able to scoot you out. They were able to just remove you. Wasn't no questions asked. They still stuck in that, or at least they want to bring it back. That's what I think it all is.
It's crazy. I was just about to say, like, man, she was trying to get some of your energy, but yeah, you already know about that.
Yeah,
But
and honestly, I don't really know that much about, like, if somebody touch, I don't know, because I'm really not a touchy person. But when I like people, sometimes I'm like, oh, I can't wait to get my hands on you. You know what I mean? So I'm like that also.
right.
I'm like a hugger. Like if I hug somebody, they always say, you give great hugs. So I do like that, but with her, I don't know why did she, I was kind of thinking like, what does she want from me? It was in a familiar area she's seen me at before, but we don't know each other. I
Right.
don't
I
and there was
mean,
a woman
maybe
on
she
that.
she she wanted to talk to you. Maybe because again, sometimes I've learned that some of them are intimidated by us, but then I had a neighbor, a Mexican neighbor. You know what I'm saying? Every time I come outside, go to my car, they stare at me. So one day, I just decided to say, "Hey, what's going on?" And just yell across the street. And he was like, "Hey, Poppy, what's going on?" And he offered me a drink and all that. I said, "No, no, thank you." But you know, I just gathered from that, like, he just wanted to be my friend. You know what I'm saying? Him and his wife and his kids, whatever. You know, they just wanted to break the ice a little bit. You know what I mean? You know, some people don't know. They don't know until they actually have a conversation with you. Like, yo, you know, I'm not here to cause you any harm. You know, I'm just your neighbor. But yeah, it'd be like that sometimes also. You know, where
Yeah,
they don't even know how to approach you. And when they finally
I
do
guess I
approach you, and they finally do, you know, probably it's probably out of love.
okay. Because she just kept looking and she was smiling at me and she was just like, and then when she said, "Oh, I made you laugh," and I'm thinking
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
dude, I mean, I do, but chick, I love to laugh. Like, I'm one of the silliest people you could meet. Sometimes I'll be trying to mature her up. You know
right,
what I'm saying?
right. So yeah, it
So,
was probably out of love. You know what I'm saying? She's probably been, like you said, y'all don't know each other, but y'all see each other
right.
around, you know, wherever
No,
it
I
is,
seen her
and
one time. And to be honest, TC, if this is the same woman, I seen her on a bad drug night and I brung her
mhm.
food. And because she said, I'm looking for my boyfriend. I was like, why don't you have shoes on? All she had was these little shorts, a shirt, no shoes. And she was walking with like a old blanket or something.
Oh
And you
wow,
know, sometimes you don't know if you should mind your business, you know, but
right.
part of me be like, dang, this is why people don't do for each other because people don't be wanting it. So I was like, you know, you all right? And she was like, well, not really. And then she said something about her boyfriend was gonna buy drugs, and she said she wasn't with it, and she's pregnant. She looked like she in her 60s, first of all, early
Hmm.
60s, but you know they don't age well. And she said, I'm pregnant, and she didn't look pregnant either. I'm like, I'm gonna bring her some food. So when I go back to this, she was laying on somebody else's porch, snoring, which people do when they're on meth. And I was trying to figure out what is she on, or fentanyl, meth, whatever, right?
Right.
So was like, you all right? Okay, you asleep. She said, no, I wasn't. I wasn't asleep. And I was like, well, I brought you a plate, you know, because you were saying you were hungry, you pregnant or whatever. And she was like, no, it's not what I said. Do you own these properties? I said, we own these properties. And the other woman's like, I own my house. And we was like, what are you talking about? And she was like, I don't know exactly what I said to her. Exactly. We were just saying stuff back to her. And then she said, you can keep your racist plate. I'm like, what? So I
Wow.
just took my food and just left. I was like, I didn't have to help. You know what I mean? I had actually I had baked some turkey chops and I had like mashed potatoes and I had like some another vegetable with it or something. I remembered it was like a full plate. But she was on drugs going in and out. And then she was looking at us like, oh, these is two black women. And she was on the end of the stick, looking all drugged out. But then she sees sisters all got themselves together. So the roles was a little reversed in what the media would show and what people would think. We're doing just fine. Our crack era has come and gone. Okay. Besides the fact that that was planted into the community from what some of us believe. Um, I don't know what their excuse is for the drugs they're on, but not to get into all that. But I think it was the same woman, and she dates someone that lives in that one of these buildings. So when she saw me minding my business, it seemed like she was drawn to me just too much. So I said, I think this is the woman that was drugged out that night. And I could be wrong, but even if I'm wrong, she looked scrawny and she looked like her, I don't know, like she might got itchy skin like the other one too. You know, they all have those type of characteristics, you know, of like hardcore drug users or whatever. Because she was just skittish and she just kept talking. She followed me across the street talking, and I was carrying stuff. So I was just like, wow. But I let her proceed because, you know, it was okay. And in the back of my mind, too, have good experiences with us, you know, so they don't fear us. Like you said, fearing black men. What is this? So, yeah, that's how that is, too. Hey, Joe Dub, I dropped that for you. Um,
He was in the
I
back.
also put a number there too. If someone wants to join in and you're not able to use StreamYard, you do have the option of using the number that I have scrolling at the bottom of the screen, so you can
I think
still.
Joe was in the back. I think he backstage.
I don't see no. Oh, oh, my bad. I had to scroll down. Joe Dub.
Hey, what's going on, Kai? What's going
Hey.
on, there,
First
brother?
time gracing my panel.
Uh,
And I left you there. My bad. I didn't even see it.
no, I was in the bag. I said I figured you. I'm like you would, because you were talking and everything there. So I said, no, go ahead and finish up or whatever. And I said, since I haven't been on the Kai stage before,
Right. You have not. Oh, you there? Okay. I don't know what just happened. Let me move my mouse. I hope I'm not doing something.
Hey Kai, I'm gonna hop down. It was great talking to you. I'm gonna definitely be tapping on the weekend when you have your games.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All
no
right,
problem.
cool.
But yeah,
Thanks,
man,
CB.
I enjoyed the conversation. Have a good one, all right?
You too.
All right.
Yeah, that was good. Good. How you doing, Joe Doug? Can you hear me okay? Okay, maybe he has something going on. Not sure. Um, all right, Joe Dub has in the chat. I must gotta go back. Oh, yeah, I was really typing too. Is it true we carry spirits every person we have sex with? That's a good question. You need to hit the panel too. I've seen you give some good questions in the chat. Excuse me, low value man. There is some kind of exchange that I think it goes beyond the sexual activity that we just use and say. But as far as like the whole spirits, I don't know. I'd be lying to say one way or the other. But I hope we don't exchange spirits in some other kind of way, because that wouldn't be too good. Oof. Nah. But there is a deep energy with it, and I feel like we're underrating the energy that it brings too, and some greatness that can come from it. You sharing your body with someone else. Sometimes it sparks things in you, but also staying abstinent too sparks things in you too. So I think the whole act of being sexual and also being non-sexual can have its benefits. But as far as exchanging spirits, I don't know. That's a deep one. I would like to have a conversation with somebody too that may want to get more insightful on that. That'd be interesting. Can you hear me, Joe? Oh, okay, I think he's off and on with the mute. Did I mute you? I didn't mute you, right? Oh shoot, I don't know what happened. Maybe he was having some technical difficulties. I hope it wasn't me. Dang, am I that bad with this panel thing? Oh, and I'm just noticing Friday today. Okay. Whenever you're ready, Joe, if you can hear.
okay, now there we go. So all of a sudden, it's
Oh,
like,
okay.
I'm like, what the mess? But I don't know what parts you heard or not heard, but but
No, I didn't hear nothing.
oh, you didn't hear that? Okay. But no, I was saying with white women in particular, but like white people, period. Um they they put it this way, they know more about us than some of us know about us. So they want to know, in the sense, almost what you know about yourself, and where you kind of like are mentally with things. And that's why sometimes they will want to be buddy with you. They want to test the waters. They want to, chum up with you when you like kind of like, what's up with you?
Right.
Why you talking to me? Get out my face. Especially in New York, coming from New York, and it's like being in New York.
Right.
It's like, man, get the hell out of my face. See,
Real.
down here where I'm living at in the South, it's a little different. People like, they chatty, and on a regular, white, black, or whatever. They just start talking. I'm like, okay. So it's even being down here, 12 years, I still can't. It's still kind of like, all right, why is this person talking to me? Why they have the conversation?
Yeah, it's
But no,
really
the thing,
different, right?
oh yeah, it's very different. But the thing of
Wow.
it is, a lot of times that's what it is with them. And and like I said, white women, they're fragile. White women, they almost, it's comedic almost dealing with them, or being around them, or even listening to them. Their own men don't like. Let's face it, their own men don't like they behind. That's why you notice, hey, they're not all upset and bent out of shape about you being with a white woman. He's a black man. I mean, if I was with one, I mean, I wouldn't want to be one ever.
Mhm.
But I mean, if I was with one, they ain't been out of shape about it because it's kind of like, oh well, that's why you got brothers running around here now with the top shelf ones. Before it used to be the kind of, the fat, chubby, honey boo boo looking ones. you know,
Yes. Uh-huh.
now it's like, they're starting to get the top shelf blondes and brunettes. Because they only there for the same reason why. I mean, they're not. It's the same thing, but just a different color. So you think you're running across the street to get something better? She gonna clean your pockets out just as fast, if not faster,
Mhm.
and that money ends up leaving the community. It ends up going back to them once something happens to you, Kobe and other people like that. And guess what?
Mhm.
Never to be seen again.
Right.
I mean, we can look at. I mean, hey, who just died recently? Tina Turner. Okay,
She was
yeah,
another one.
she was a Swiss citizen now because you got to remember because when she passed away and they announced Tina Turner, the Swiss singer, not the American singer, because she gave up her American citizenship. And so, and she,
Oh,
yeah, when she married White Boy, the dude over there in Switzerland, and
yeah,
and
she wanted to lose herself. You know
she
something,
yeah
Joe, too? She wanted to lose
mm,
herself for a while
yeah
because she just had a negative depiction of her people, of black people in general, which I didn't know, growing up. I guess you didn't know as much about people real life that
no
all
you
that
don't
much.
yeah you don't
But now you know it more. But yeah, I do remember that. She didn't really she had a difficulty identifying with her people. And didn't her ex-husband mention that? Like she wasn't really too keen on, oh, let's have a big get together, and have our people around. She wasn't with all that. She
Mm-mm.
wasn't. So it's like maybe she didn't even want to be black herself. Sometimes that self-hate runs so deep. She always rocked the blonde hair.
Right. Yeah, so
And I
I
don't
think
knock
self.
people hair color either, y'all, but there is an obsession when you just want to be blonde, when you know that most blondes are white. And yes, we have black people that are blonde. I have family that's blonde. But y'all know what we mean by that. Oh shoot. You back, Joe Dub? It looked like he moved off the screen, but now you're back on. I'm not sure what's going on. Well, you can chime in whenever you're ready if able. Um, Instead of invading other neighborhoods where you're not wanted. Yeah. Maybe at some point we value our own neighborhoods instead of prosperous. Yeah, we do have to build up our neighborhoods more. We definitely do. But also, as people, we can't think that moving out into rural areas means that's not our area. This is all of our area. We can go wherever we want to. We just were kept out, and things were taken from us. So we're moving out and branching out, but also don't lose who you are and stop trying to separate from other black people. You only going to get so far. You're just going to be sweating and running for no reason. Anyone has a drop of black in them, you're looked at as a certain way. That goes for you biracials. That goes for whatever you want to call yourselves. It got two different race parents. It goes for everyone. You are included with the blackness. It don't matter how light you are, how straight you wear
Mhm.
your hair, whatever color you wear, you're all going to be looked at as the same. It's like people running from themselves. But you know what,
Mhm.
Joe W? Those will be the same hypocritical idiot coons that'll run to us when they need somebody, because it's only going to be certain ones of us that can defend them and are maybe still willing to. They'll
Right.
need us.
And that's the thing about it. So they sit around here, they're trying to deny their blackness by denying the very thing that they are. And then what happens is, like you said, when they get behind the eight ball, then it's all of a sudden, I don't know, you're doing this because I'm black. No, you remember you wasn't black last week, brother, sister.
Right. Thank you. Thank
So I'm
you.
sorry. I'm sorry. But and the other thing, even same thing with ethnicity or whatever else. Like for instance, people, my black is the same as blackity black as somebody who might have been whatever. I'm Puerto Rican. Okay, my black Rican is black first. Puerto Rico might have been where my family's family came from. So
Mhm.
that's about it. I mean, people like I say, when I tell them, I'm like, nope, I'm black first, last, and no, that's it. Because I mean, I can't put the other card out. Well, yeah, actually, what difference would it make? Because we come in all
Mhm.
different shades.
Right.
It's just because you come from an island, whether you're Dominican or Colombian or Puerto Rican or Venezuelan or whatever, or Jamaican or anything else. Um, people get caught up in that one too lately. Why I'm this? Oh no, that you black.
Right,
But
definitely. And then they
you
think they're
blackity black.
proving something. Oh, well, I'm lighter skin. Well, I have such and such. It's like news flash. Most of us
Hmm.
American born are
Yep.
something else is in our stuff was going on. Okay. You know where I'm
Oh
getting,
hell.
but I don't
Oh.
I don't like getting into that, but I know mine, most of it, but it's like I know what
Hmm.
I am. And even
Hmm.
if I have a parent that's a whole nother guess what? Kai knows what she is, and I
Right.
prove it and I try to show it every day. And I would never even consider changing it up or heightening a different race. Or something
Right.
like that, because I know who gets put down the most. Black people. I know who gets kept out of stuff the most. Black Africans. I already know that. Why would I want to join the ops? People are willing to join the ops because they think they're going to get something from it. You're not getting no
Yeah.
biscuit. They're not going to serve you. They might serve you with murder last. They might hold off on the killing, but they're going to come get you. They're going to come get you.
Yeah. Exactly. Because it's like people I see, when they sit up there and they're like, um, white women. Like I think he was asking, the brother that was on here earlier was asking, about white women. I said, no, I'll tell you something. With white women, I'll tell you this: the ones that want you the most are the ones that hate you the most in public. If you get a white chick, I guarantee a lot of them, not all of them, because you got some that legitimately, they no, they fell in love with you or whatever else. But a lot of them, you'll find out that you the N word by day, and by night, you all kind of good things. And
Mm,
and you'll find that out, especially when if you got, I mean, going to college with them. It was like, okay, go to a small school in upstate New York, in Ithaca, and oh, you saw that all the time. Oh yeah, they throwing the N word around faster than anybody. You thought it was a clan meeting, you
mm,
know. But at nighttime, you get that little knock on the door, and it's the same one that was like, string them up, kill them, and burn them at the stake type of thing. But she want to get
mhm.
with you. So,
Wow.
that's the mental psychosis, the freaking psychological messed up mindset of these people. So we play it hard, like you're the guy.
Oh, you went out, but you're back, Joe W. I'm not sure if it's your device or if you can hear me, but a message came up. It said device not connected. Yeah, I don't think it's me this time. I ain't touched nothing. I don't know. I think y'all could see him, right? I don't know. Is it? Hmm. Okay. Well, okay. So until Joe W gets his we able to hear him on the audio. I'll finish out with some of this. Yeah, and in some of the interracial relationships that we've seen, just like with the man, uh, is it Chad? I have him in my black women that divest end up in that. I have a video on that. He told her to bow down when he got in his zone. Now he's a white man with that black girl. And she was like, Chad, it's me. And he was like, bitch, and all this stuff he was saying to her. And she was like, what? She didn't get it. She thought that blonde wig was enough. And that's what a lot of black women think. They think that, let me just put a blonde wig on. Is this good enough? You're never enough in their eyes, but you are enough. Remember that. And that's why they throw out the N word, like Joe W just was talking about. There was a recent argument between a black woman and her white man, and I forgot what it was. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but he started calling her the N word, and they got into it. And he was like, N word. He was like, you a N word, you N word, and this and that. And she was shocked. And I was just like, see, I keep seeing this. They're telling you how they really feel. And or that's what we do. Oh, there you go. Now we can hear you.
Okay,
That's
yeah,
how,
because I think because
everyone gets like that, but
no, my phone's getting hot. I think it is sometimes. Because I guess it's
oh,
hot.
probably my laptop feels awful warm too. It feels pretty hot.
Because it got hot all of a sudden. Because it's hot out here. It's like 105 degrees outside. But
Yeah, it's warm. Hot
yeah.
conversation, hot days, hot
Oh yeah.
devices.
Yeah, that's why I had to cut the AC on. That was because I was inside my truck here. I'm like, let me cut the AC on and cool this phone.
Okay.
So that might be what's causing me the drama. But nah, yeah, nah, it's crazy though. It's this whole thing is crazy, and if you fall for the delusion of it all, you'd be crazy to do that. You'd be just as crazy as them. But a lot of people do. People want, they want recognition. They want to be, they get, excuse me, they get recognition from someone that like from the ops. They seem to appreciate it more than they do when you give it to them or acknowledge their accomplishments or praise them for what they do. Oh, they you saying this? Oh yeah, you're lying or whatever. But the ops says it. Oh, we love it. We love it.
Right. It's craziness.
Which it is, straight up unadulterated 100% craziness. you
Yeah.
know, and it's one of those things, man, where it's kind of like, all I can do for some of my people is just pray, because ain't
Yeah.
nothing else I can help, and even that might not, because we have a lot of delusional people out here.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I mean that's the sad part about it. And I know they get on my man, the real brother there, RBR, um,
Uh-huh.
about some of the stuff he says even. But he's right with some of the stuff. I definitely agree with him on. And
Hmm.
I gotta go over there and check him out one day. I ain't been over there in a minute.
Yeah. I mentioned you to him yesterday. I was like, I was talking to Joe Dove, I was chatting. I said, he said he gonna come through and see you soon. I said, yeah, I know y'all be having a good convo. And he's like, oh, okay. He was kind of quiet, but he read it and he put it up on the screen. I don't think what he highlighted it yesterday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I guess
He was busy. I didn't see him early. I'm gonna have to catch his show. He shouting me out earlier.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we gonna
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, because I know he got he been jumping on. He keeps on their behinds over there. Man, he is too funny with some of that
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, but he matter of fact, I guess I think was Non-Swirl song said he's gonna be on Sinetta's tonight. I guess I'm like, oh, he's
Oh,
gonna be
is he in the comments? Sis? Or is that something?
Non-Swirl. Yeah, he said it.
Oh, he's supposed to,
Where's it at? Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
you
Yeah,
said
he
he's
said
supposed to be.
here it is. Yeah, Non-Swirl zone said it. He said it to me and D. Darrell. RBR is going to be on the Sunetta panel tonight at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Oh.
Oh, that's gonna be interesting.
Oh, yeah, I did see it now.
That's gonna be real interesting. Oh
Mm.
man, that's gonna be real
Yeah,
interesting.
that'll be good. Yeah, because he did mention Sonetta recently, so somehow they must have hooked up or something, or maybe he was on his show and told him to come on back. Because I know
Yeah.
he likes has his conversation, and real brother, he's not going to just easily go along with people. So I
Oh
know he
no.
doesn't agree with everything, but he does like his foundation and what he does over there. He mentioned that recently. So okay, so tonight 7 Pacific, so West Coast. Okay.
8.
Oh, all right. Yeah, that will be interesting. He's
So
so good too. He got a good personality. He's always on his toes. He's really quick with his information. He always has a punchline, whether he realizes it or not. So RBR is a joy to have around. I just be glad when people just appreciate him more too, And people might feel he has some things that, he may can work on and he could do everyone can, grow some in some areas. But yeah, that'll be a good show. I mean, he's already grown. Wow, okay. Joe Dub must have fell back off his phone too hot. Oh man. Yeah, that'll be something. I have to catch the show because he was talking about some things over there and something with his RV. I never And I ended up getting so busy. Something happened right while he started his live. And then I had to go do that. And then I had to come on here, get my files together, my little visuals, and all that good stuff together. So we'll see. Maybe Joe Dub will come back in a minute and join us. If not, if anyone else has anything they'd like to input, type in chat or add to the convo, feel free. And okay, we just hit 2 hours, guys. Oh wow. Okay. Time goes by fast when you're enjoying it, and I have good conversation with you guys, and you guys have a great energy. And anytime our energy is a bit off, I bet we can balance each other out and be just right. Okay? Yeah. So that's what happened. Well, I appreciate you coming up, because I think I did my first live like 2 years ago or a year ago. Maybe I hasn't been 2. By the way, guys, he's never come up here. That was his first time coming to join me. Some lives I don't have links and all that, but some I have. And Joe W, I've known him for some time now through YouTube, seen him on different panels and such. He's such a balanced man, very well balanced. And he's one of the ones that came in early and helped add support to me, my voice, and what I do. I was even like attacked on a panel before. It's happened other times too. Sometimes people don't like the truth. Show me that I'm not telling the truth, then you can attack. Other than that, you just don't like yourself. And there's a lot of people that live with self-hate, and they were coming against me and him. He popped up like, listen, like, hi, cool. Like, what? So, stuff like that and brothers like that, I ain't gonna ever forget. So I'm thankful for that. And thanks for blessing my panel. So today, I basically did my show on that, why women don't trust men, and it goes way back historically, inequality, things like that. But now to date, there's a lot of systematic things that are put in place to help keep us apart. There's a lot of LGBTQ movements. They are unified, but it's almost like, hey, we're separating from heterosexuals. And there's certain things that are going on with them to where it's it seems like flat out hate from the feminists that are of the LGBTQ movement and things like that, where you can be feminine or a feminist. In some ways I am, but that doesn't mean I'm only going to go by a girl code. That doesn't make sense. I have to listen to the men and I have to listen to the women. That's how we find balance and work together. Otherwise, all you're doing is coming on YouTube causing chaos and mess. And all some y'all do and others is just give them some numbers for it, but they'll never succeed coming against your own. You're never going to succeed adding to any war. There's those of us that are warriors. We fight the war, but we don't start it. We finish it. We end it. So that was that. And I'll just quickly go in closing where I'll show some of the things here. And again, I'm Kai Y007. If you're new or whatever, feel free to subscribe if you like. If you like some of what you're seeing. I have different variety here, mostly community based, but I talk about a lot of different things here too. I like to, add some fun to things. Sometimes it's a serious topic, but we can have some fun with it. My videos are short. If you want to get some information and kind of be in and out. The lives, some of them will be a half hour, most 20 to a half hour a lot of the time, but then some will be an hour or more. Like this one was great. I had a couple of guests come up. We did 2 hours, which is great for me too, because it helps me utilize the things that I pay for. I pay for subscriptions. I'm utilizing new apps, and these apps ain't playing too many games either. Usually things that seem like would be free, or I would teach myself to do things and I would just do them on my own, but you have to pay for apps too. So I just want people to know that I do put things into all my work. You'll never probably know exactly what I do because I don't need to tell everything, and I'm not complaining either. So I enjoy this and I'm glad to do it. So the basics of women not trusting men, sexism, it's just a gender thing, and it's mostly against women, being looked at as just a certain way, things like that. Religion, you're brought up in a stricter household, so that religion has kept you so restricted that now you can unleash and actually enjoy sex with your husband, because they don't want you to have sex usually until you're married in most religions. And you do that, and then they're not comfortable. There's someone just not comfortable. And I look at it like this too, which I meant to mention in the beginning. I'll mention it now. You have to trust man, but you were used to trusting God. You're used to trusting your higher power, right? Then now you have your man by your side walking in the light of the higher power. But women aren't really trusting their husbands. If they did, they would be more relaxed in their marital sex and their marital intimacy. So, see, I bring that up with religion because they're still choosing someone else other than man. They're not totally trusting their man. If they were, they would be more comfortable. They want to make sure this is okay with the Lord. This is okay with our religion. So they constantly feel the need, even in the bedroom, to check and see what's biblically right. Is oral sex acceptable or not? Or should we just have this, like other genital sex, so this, gets down to those details too. So, and also, so disorders, I mentioned that mental disorders can disrupt any relationship. It's finding the balance in that and possibly getting diagnosed, or if it's not as bad, but just acknowledging it and working through it. Our experiences make us who we are. That's for everyone. Women that have had bad experiences tend to carry that with them. Men do too. I don't know. Might hit harder with women. I might have to say that. Sexual orientation. You may be gay, you may be lesbian, and you hate men now because of your experience with a man or with men. So you shut them out, and then you feel like they're bad. They're bad. We got this. Let's just have all women. Like it's Wonder Woman. You want a planet or a land of just women? Good luck with that. It's not going to work. So, sexual orientation or issues with your sexuality too can have people hinder women away from men. Historical inequality since the beginning of time. Early on, a lot of women weren't as equal. Now in Africa, we did have more equality there. We did have, kings and queens and such, but we worked together a lot. There's proof of that even at the pyramids in Egypt. We worked together. No one was really beneath someone else. Not like that. We had our pharaohs and everything, but it was different. So throughout history, women just were treated unequally too. So don't think we forgot, and don't think we don't know that we're still living in a lot of unequal situations, especially with pay and just other things, dealings socially. Last but not least, systematic pressures. Like I mentioned, systematic pressures are like welfare reform, certain things that are in the American system that help keep you apart. They show you, hey, you'll benefit more by not being with the man. You'll benefit, and then people take that and run with it. And or women saying, hey, maybe we have depended on men too long. We're doing this on our own. We don't need y'all. And then it comes out like that. And then you're kind of pressured by other women, like, tell them, we don't need them. Yeah. Then they all join in. Yeah, we don't need them. And it could be farther from the truth. We do need each other. There's a lot of things women just cannot do. That's why we depend on men. We're not physically enough for some things. And that's why I showed the other video here, contrary to what we want to believe. Now, this woman here, and that's why I have it on, is because she's a Marine and she says she can beat all the other Marines. So it was just something I was just flashing back on that. So even though we wish we were stronger, a lot of times we're just not, and we're not meant to be. So I just wanted to, elaborate on that too. And I'm gonna finish closing out with Trust, instrumental by Buju Banton. Who do we trust? Do you trust? Are we trustworthy as women still? Are men not to be trusted these days? Is it different these days, or has it always been the same?
Terrifying moment. A panicked woman is desperately building.
So we'll skip past some of that.
Put it into somebody's eyes.
Thank you everyone for coming out.
Immediately have a negative burning sensation reaction, and it'll give you time to escape and evade that assailant.
He also showed me a self-defense technique.
You can grab and need.
Right. LW said we need each other now more than ever. Right. And also those of y'all that have probably gone without, and if you catch this too, you might think you're alone. You don't ever really have to be alone. And I'm not just saying with the man, he'll come, manifest it. I've been working on manifesting things too, and I'm seeing them come to place, just like I expected. Be by yourself and meditate sometime. What is meditating? Just taking some time out for yourself, 10 to 20 minutes. You have that time. Yes, you do. Sit, write down some things you want and you need to see. Be vague on some things, and then as you ponder on it, you'll be able to get more and more specific. Certain people say there's a certain look where I froze the camera. There's certain number of amount of times you got to write it out. Everyone has their own, so I can't teach you that, but I'll tell you that it works, and I just encourage you to do it. All of us have ancestry. The ancestors will help protect you as well. I believe that. I can feel them. You will too if you don't already. And it honestly might be here more now than ever too. Taking off from what Joe was just saying.
To the groin, fingers to the eyes, chop to the throat.
Hopefully, you will never find yourself in a crisis like this.
And I wonder, what did he want anyway? To my yo, miss. If she had opened the door, what did you want? And there was a boy in the house too, and they said he knew him. So I don't know if there was just a little more to that story. It was really strange. But we talked about LGBTQ, so we went over all those things. Hopefully, I brought some light to some things. And my exchange with the panelists, I had TC up here and I had Joe W up here with me, two fine gentlemen, and hopefully you get something out of it. I won't hope too much because I know you will, so that's always good. So those are the things in closing. And generally. Yeah. Oh, another thing too, which I mentioned about goes on now that you didn't really see before, is that when you're watching people live streams and different things, sometimes you'll see men porn bombing now. That's their thing now. Some of them. And I'm noticing a lot of them are homosexual. You got to be, because you keep showing homosexual pornography, or you're exposing yourself to the host who's a man. I'm seeing a lot of that going on. It goes on RBR Network sometimes too. He got to cut on that. You got to cut that down. So there's things like this too, that all you're doing is adding less trust of men from women. We already kind of feel some kind of way sometimes, or like, oh, I probably know what you're thinking. And, we shouldn't do that too much. Tell each other how we're thinking. But it's things that are going on now with social media and these internet things too, that are adding to some of the destruction of how we should be with each other and how intimate we should be with each other. So that's another thing too that I wanted to mention. Men that are dealing with the battle of their own homosexuality tendencies. So if you have the tendencies, then you are. Okay, so let's stop playing the games. And down low men, that adds distrust too for women, because we know some of you guys are gay and you're putting on a front being in a relationship. And that's not only detrimental to our health, because there's HIV, there's AIDS, there's things like that that can be more easily contracted, so they say, through homosexual sex. And then you bring it to your heterosexual wife or woman that you're involved with. So there are plenty of reasons that women don't really trust men. But I wanted to narrow it down into those key factors, and so we can have a better understanding of things historically and what's going on now, and how we can, kind of see what's going on in the future. Between the workplace and as intimate as the bedroom for women, there's just, there's a lack of trust, and it's possibly growing. So I want to speak on that. Right. So coming up, hope to see you guys back. I'll be here this weekend, and I'll put out there when I'm gonna go on. It'll probably be Friday, but I'll do that. We'll get a game going. Bingo, I'll have that all set up. I have my little glove, my little accessory for my hands, and have the camera on for that. So yeah, we'll do that. Also, I have coming up, like I said, I want to talk about why people tend to despise rappers, particularly rappers and hood dudes. So I have my own perspective on that to share with y'all, and y'all can feel free to share some things too. And we'll have an open panel. So if anybody wants to talk about anything, I want to do that too, where y'all can just talk about anything you want to. All right. So thanks for coming out, and really, really appreciate y'all. This has been a great conversation and everything. Just to close out. think I went over that.
It's Elsie the Big
Okay, so I'll see you guys this weekend. This is Kai and Y007 here on YouTube.com. Thanks for coming out. And for now, peace.
It's Elsie the Big God.
The reasons that we're here. I'll have some more. It feels like a series. So I got another video, like I said, coming for y'all, and then another one. Reasons. I'm gonna go roll these reasons. All right, y'all. Peace for real listening. Bye.
It's Elsie the Big God.